Okay, so now let's do something a little bit more interesting. Let's dive right in. So now it's lesson 3, and let's actually revisit the same problem we did last time about eating this pizza. Again, what kind of pizza do I like? I like black olives. Anyway, so this problem said that I wanted to eat just 20% of this pizza. And then first I asked, how much am I actually eating? And we figured out, oh, I'm eating 10 inches, or 10 inches square. And then after that, we said, okay, how much pizza is left over? If I started with the total, which was 50 inches square, and I ate 10, that means, right, I would take away 10 from the 50, the total, and the leftover is 40 inches square, right? This thing right here, the other part, not the shaded part, but the other part, will be my 40 inches square. Okay, well, what if instead, right, the problem didn't ask you part A, but it directly asked you part B, right? So just say I ate 20% of the pizza, and then it asked me, how much do I have left? Well, that's not too bad actually. We could do it in one shot, in one equation. And that's the point of this lesson. We're going to write equations from now on to solve these percent problems. Okay, so how did we actually do this? Well, what did we do at the end? We had the total pizza, right, whatever that area was, and we subtracted however much I ate, and then I figured out how much was left over. I did the 50 minus 10, I got 40. So how do I write that as an equation? Well, let's start with words, right? So I started with the total pizza, right? That's what I have. I have the total pizza, and then I subtracted 20% of what I ate, right? So I had total pizza, and then 20% of what I ate, and then what's left over? Well, that's exactly it, right? My leftovers. Alright, so that's pretty much the equation, right? I have an equal sign, but of course, in mathematics, we don't write everything in words. We use symbols and numbers, right? So let's actually do that. So what was the total pizza? Well, in this problem, what was the total area? It was 50 inches. Or 50 inches square. So I'm going to write this as 50, and I'm subtracting 20% of what I ate. Wait, but how did I figure out 20% of what I ate? Well, that was the part A, right? I wanted to figure out how much I ate, which was 20% of the 50. So over here, I'm going to write 20% of 50, and then what is that I get? My leftover. I don't know what it is, so I'm going to call it L. Why not? So that's the only thing that I don't know. That's my variable, my leftover, L. So we already did this, right? We said 50 minus, what's 20% of 50? It was 10. And that will give me my leftovers, and therefore I get my 40 inches square as my leftover. So here's kind of like the recipe in percents, or writing equations for percents. I start with the total, or the original amount. So actually I'm going to write that down, original. Right, I start with the original, and I subtract percent, or add, it doesn't, right, it depends on the problem, percent of original. Right, so I got the original plus the percent original, or it could be subtraction, and it gives me my final. In this problem, it was my leftover. Right, so that's kind of the recipe that we're going to use for all the problems from now on. So let's actually do another problem that we've already done. Just say there is a 5% discount on all items on Target, right, and the toy costs $16. Instead of calculating the actual discount and then subtracting it, why don't we write it as a one-shot equation? We could do that. So, let me take a breath. Yoshi, 行くぞ! That means let's go! 行くぞ! Alright, so what did I say the equation was? It was the original, right? So the original amount, right? And then I might add or subtract. Well, let's do it properly. This is a discount, so in this case, I'm going to be subtracting the percent of the original. That's going to give me my final cost. Right. That's what I'm going to do. Right? I have the original, and I'm going to subtract percent of the original. So what was my original amount? My original amount was $16. And what am I subtracting? I'm subtracting what percent? 5% is my discount. 5% of the $16. Right? That's what we calculated over here before. Right? The discount was 5% of 16. So that's what this is, the discount. So the original minus 5% of the 16, which will give me my final cost. And let's call it F. So we already calculated this in the other day. So we get 16, right? Let's bring this over here. So we have $16 minus, and we do the actual math, and we did it here already, which would be 0.8, which will give me my final cost. And therefore, my final cost is $15.20 is my final cost. So like I said, this is the equation, kind of like the formula that I want you to follow. I start with the original amount, which is what we call the 100%. That's what we start with, the original. And I'm going to take away whatever percent of the original. In this case, right, there was a 5% discount. So I wanted to calculate 5% of the 16. Right, so this thing I am taking away from the 16. And when I actually calculate it, I got $15.20. So now I want you to try these 4 problems. Again, you could find these problems on Ngrade. Please, right, maybe download it, the document, so that you could see it easily, print it out. This is what I prefer. But I will be going over it right now, and that'll be the next video.